What's up everyone, it's Tony here, and welcome to another episode on Yacht Addiction. I have a very special treat for you today. The beautiful super yacht in front of us is a 55-meter Heesen SuperYacht, which was first delivered in 2011. This yacht is absolutely massive at 781 gross tons, and it's built entirely out of aluminum. This yacht is presented by TWW Yachts, so thank you to them for granting me access on board. Heesen is one of the finest shipbuilders in the world. They're known for their high quality builds with that Dutch pedigree. Inside, we can sleep up to 12 guests. This yacht houses up to 13 crew members. I will put all the specifications, of course, down in the description, but I will say that the beam is 9.4 meters or 30 feet and 11 inches, and it has a draft of 3 meters or 9 feet and 11 inches. And I'll give you a quick caveat now. This yacht is extremely busy with a mix of clients, brokers, and other media on board, so we're going to work around them as best as possible. There's a lot of real estate to see on board this one, so we're going to cover it. We just might have to bounce around from place to place. And as you can imagine, at 55 meters or 180 feet in length, there are so many incredible areas on board. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we explore this 55-meter Heesen SuperYacht. So as you can see, we're going to make our way on board via the passerelle. But before we do that, you can get a glimpse into the beach club area. One thing I really like about this yacht is the striking blue paint job. And I'm going to put a picture of this yacht's profile on the screen now so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. At 180 feet, this yacht is absolutely massive and it looks so beautiful in the water. And right away, we're greeted by a very special feature. This pool on the main deck can fit up to 10 people. And then just in front of the pool, we have 2 tables with seating all around them. And I'll show you one of the sides right here. And then we also have a circular table over here. There's a TV mounted under this protected area. And we have powered glass doors on either side, which lead us into the main salon. And there, of course, is a surround sound system. There's speakers littered throughout this yacht. And stepping inside, I'll just give you a moment to take this all in. Starting all the way aft, we have the bar area. So you can see some of the liquor on display. You have the beautiful onyx for the backsplash. And of course, wine refrigerators, you have 2 of them, with your sink and plenty of storage as well. As you can imagine on this yacht, there is storage littered all throughout. You're never going to run out of space on board. This is the game table, where currently it's set up for chess. You can convert it if you want to set up a poker game or any other type of card game. And then, once again, 2 more wine refrigerators on this side, 2 more on the other side, making full use of the space. And then if you're looking to do a family movie night, this is the perfect place to do so in the main salon, because take a look at the size of this TV. We have some promo footage actually playing of this yacht. But I'll take a step back so you can see your massive sofa. And then one thing I really like on these Heesen yachts, especially in the larger sizes, you have these beautiful curves on different sections of the yacht. So you have them in the main salon, which gives you a little bit of extra real estate. And of course, you can open up these doors all the way across if you really want to open up this space. I also love the detailing in the ceiling. And we'll come back all the way to the door on the port side and give you one slow look at this area before moving on. I'm lingering for a little bit just because it's completely empty. During my preview walk, this room was never empty. And now we're going to move on to the rest of the guest spaces. Coming through this door, this is your main foyer for the yacht. So you'll see the door right here. And take a look, guys. This yacht features an elevator. and a beautiful staircase which leads up to the bridge deck and down to the guest cabins. We are not going to be riding the elevator today, but I think it's pretty incredible. This door brings us into the crew domain, and then this door is for the day head. I always love the extremely thick doors on these Heesen yachts. And then we'll step through this door. But before we get into the owner's suite, there's actually a bonus cabin located right here. So if you had a child and you wanted to keep them close, maybe you could put them in this room. Beyond just having a kid close by, you could also use this room for your security or for another staff member. They consider it to be the main deck VIP cabin. So you get a lot of flexibility. You can use this however you'd like. But either way, if you want to keep someone close, this is the place to have them. Because it is feet away from the owner's suite, but they have really large windows, so they get a fantastic view. Their closet is right here. TV, of course, a dressing table, and we'll check out their ensuite. Those large windows continue. And then you can see the large shower. And there are currently, I think, 8 or 9 people in the owner's suite, so we're gonna have to hold off on that for now. But to be efficient, let's continue on with the tour and we'll head down to the guest cabins. And on this level, we have a combination of either 3 or 4 additional cabins, and I'll show you that flexibility in just a moment. Of course, you could have the 6 full cabins on board if you wanted to, but the way it's currently configured, we actually only have the 5 cabins. But this is a massive room for one of the smaller cabins. I mean, you have so much space between the beds, and you can see the desk in the middle. And their ensuite is located right here. All right, so back out into the hallway. This door actually brings us into a hallway, which leads you into the crew domain, so it makes it very easy for the crew to service these cabins. You can see how that works here. And we will head into the crew area later on in the tour. For now, here's another guest cabin. And I didn't talk about it yet, but wellness is a huge feature on this yacht. And up on the sun deck, you have an out-of-this-world wellness center, complete with so many incredible areas and features. We're going to be touring that later on in the video, but I just wanted to give you a sneak peek of some of the bonus spaces that you get when you have 180 feet to play with. And this room features the combination bathtub with the rainfall shower. And then this last cabin down here, this is what I was talking about with the flexibility. If you wanted to fit more people, you could completely convert this into 2 spaces. But for now, we have the queen bed on this side of the room. And then there's an opening in the entire length of the wall. So you have the full beam to play with in this room. And you can see right here, this is where the door will come out of. So you have a pocket door that slides across. And then you can see the seating area that they have set up over on this side. But both of these sections are fully equipped to be their own room. They each have a TV, and they also have their closets. And of course, they each have their own ensuite. So if we come over here, you'll find it behind this door with the shower tub combo. And then here you can see ensuite number 2, you have a huge closet in this one, and the second ensuite. This one doesn't have the combo, it's just a very large shower. So you get a lot of flexibility. You can put people in different rooms depending on their needs. And I'm sure you've noticed, but you have the high-end materials all throughout every single room. This yacht was most recently refit in 2022. So it's been kept up to date by the owners. And I believe that beautiful blue paint job was one of the things added during that latest refit. And actually, while we're here on this level, let's take a peek into the crew domain. Earlier when I was previewing, they were playing loud music, so we might just have to mute this section to avoid a copyright strike. We'll see when we get in there. And we can see the additional cold storage right here. All right, guys, and that is the extent of what we'll be able to show in the crew domain. Like I said, there's 13 crew members on board. They're working extremely hard at the shows. They're actively giving guest tours, actually. And they're right in the middle of their meal. You could see the chef. They were just wrapping up the crew meal. So things were a little bit dirty. The chefs are always very particular about that. But I promised that you wouldn't mind. You just wanted to see the galley. And then we also got a shot of the laundry room. And then up the hallway is a massive crew mess. I saw a sneak peek of it, but I wasn't able to show it on camera because the entire crew was eating and they had all the food laid out. And then just in front of that massive crew space is all of their cabins, with the exception of the captain's cabin, which is located upstairs. Speaking of which, we are going to head up now. Here we can see the day head on this level. Then through this door, this is another prep space. Here we have the dumbwaiter, which comes up from the crew domain below, and they also have their private staircase. And then continuing forward, this is where we find the bridge. Then here's a quick shot of the office. And then further back, actually here's the second office space, a little more personal, with the captain's cabin. They even have an extra wine rack in here. captain and some of the staff were having a meeting in there. That's why I wasn't talking that much. But of course, you have an ultra modern set of controls for the super yacht. And through this powered door, this is your sky lounge. This is another incredible area on this vessel. One thing I really like, I mentioned it earlier, with these curves on each side, these curved doors, you get extra real estate on the inside. So they have those couches match those curves. So you get a ton of space in the sky lounge. You have another extremely large TV on the wall. And I think we have our current location in France on the TV. And I read in the brochure that this is actually a self-playing piano, so that's pretty cool to have. And then a feature I really loved on this yacht. Earlier downstairs, it was much more casual on the aft deck. So up here, this is your formal dining space if you want the alfresco experience. We have the circular table in the middle. And there's a fantastic skylight right above, which gives lots of natural light for this space, in addition to the massive windows. And these doors can be opened up even further, so you can open up half of this room. So you can really get the inside out experience with this setup. And then in the closets on either side, this is where we have all the additional storage. And then continuing aft on this bridge deck, we have another place to hang out here in this area with some more seating, the small table in the middle. Of course, on a yacht like this, you're never going to run out of places to hang out. And I really like the variety of seating options you have on the different levels. And of course, wouldn't be complete without the bar, which we have right over here. Fully stocked, as you can imagine. And you also, if you want to protect this area from the wind, you have the doors that close so you can shield this off. And it looks like additional prep space with your sink and some storage underneath. Now, I gave you a sneak preview earlier when I was talking about the Wellness Center, and we're going to head up there next. But before we get inside, that's right, on this level, half of it's inside, half of it's outside. So we will check out the sundeck aft, where we have 2 more tables, and it looks like they can be connected. So we have another place for an alfresco meal. As I mentioned, we're in France at the moment at the Cannes Yachting Festival. You have the beautiful landscape, and we also have yachts in every single direction. But this is one of the largest, if not the largest yacht at the show. So I'm very excited we were able to actually get on board this one. You can see the TV that's mounted, and then of course, here is the skylight that we saw from the round table. It's always a weird feeling standing on one of these. In this area, you probably just saw it, but you also have the bar. And I also really like these lights. There was one on the top of the stairs on the other side and one right here. So I'm sure at nighttime, these lights give you a fantastic ambiance in this area. And now, I think you've waited long enough. Let's go check out this wellness center. Starting with this door, which of course is powered. You wouldn't expect anything less. And this grants us access directly into your gym. So they have a great assortment of equipment from the bench, the free weights. You also have the elliptical and the bike. You could also use this section as a yoga studio, and you have another TV mounted on the wall. But this is just the beginning of this area. Continuing up this hallway, you have treatment centers and places to enjoy on either side, starting with the day head for this level, complete with the shower. Over here, this is your sauna. Now there's even more to see. Over here, this is the massage room. And then across the hall, that's right, we're not done yet. We have a Turkish bath. And then once you're done with all of those, or any combination of them, we can step all the way forward to your beautiful lounge. So we have two extremely comfortable chairs over here. Another small settee. Then there's another TV on the wall. Huge windows as well. These are actually powered glass doors, just like you have in the aft section. A small skylight. And if we head out one of these doors, this is a private oasis up here, where we have a massive section of sun pads in addition to the hot tub. And you have the umbrellas, of course, if you want protection from the sun. So I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this incredible sun deck, including the wellness area. I want to know what features and what rooms would you use the most. I was very impressed when I did my walkthrough of this area. Clearly, a lot of thought has been put into how they're going to use this space. As I mentioned before, when you're in the size category at 55 meters or larger, 180 feet, it's really hard to conceptualize, but you get so much additional space to play with, so you can really build whatever you set your mind on. But we're still not done. We have even more to see on this yacht. We still have to head down. We have to check out the foredeck, and we also have to check out the engine room and the beach club. So there's still even more to see on this one. It's pretty incredible. Excuse me. So that staircase brought us back down to where we started. And then we're gonna make our way back towards the front and up this staircase. This will bring us right outside the bridge. Where of course we have a wing station. And then it's mostly business up here, but just a little bit of pleasure, where we can see two more tables. And then we also have 4 large jet skis. And your safety tender is located up here. You can also see the large crane to put all of these toys and tenders into the water. And take a look at these winches. You of course have some extremely heavy-duty hardware on board. I think we have inflatables tucked in on either side, probably a slide. And I know there's a lot of inflatables for the aft section as well to connect to the beach club. And you probably saw them, but once again, we have umbrellas protecting these areas. Then I also love the cutouts with the glass, so you get additional natural light when you're inside, and better views when you're sitting down. Now, coming over to this side, here we have the main entrance to the engine room. This will grant us access into the tender garage. I really like how it's teak lined, so it's very easy to walk around when you don't have a tender on board. And then this door will open up so you can release your tender, your main tender that is, right out into the water. And if we step across here, we have full standing headroom. You can see some of the additional life jackets and toys. It looks like we have a dive center on board. We have the golf mat, all the additional inflatables. And then we're actually going to check out the beach club now because we have direct access to it, and you can see how it's all connected. Through this door, this brings us into the beach club. So you can see some of the toys that are on board. There's also a shower. And I love the wood accents that they went with in here. It really pops against the blue paint job. And this is a great little space to relax. We have the sofa, of course, a place to kick up your feet or use them as tables or additional stools. And just like everywhere else, we have speakers lining the ceilings. But then through this door, which has those same wood accents, this is how we get back into the garage. And then, if we follow this teak path, here we can find the engine room. I think we'll head over in this direction first. You have the massive bank of generators, it looks like. In addition to the extremely large MTU engines. I'll go around and show you the other engine, but just to mention, these are MTU 20V 4000 M93L engines. They're rated at 2,800 horsepower each, giving you a very impressive top speed of 25 knots. You can cruise comfortably at 17, and if you drop it down to 12 knots, you have a reported 4,500 nautical miles of range. So clearly, you can travel far and wide on this yacht, and you have all of the support systems on board to do so. Back here, this is the chief engineer's office, so we'll give you a little peek into his space, or her space. And then of course we come to the other side, and here is engine number 2. All right guys, if you stuck with me this long, I greatly appreciate you. I'm gonna give you another look at that beautiful main salon, and then we will wrap up this tour. We have seen every accessible area of this 180-foot yacht. And actually guys, some of you may be screaming at me because we almost forgot to go back to the owner's suite. Luckily, I just remembered. I can't believe we almost forgot, but this is also one of the best areas on this yacht. First of all, you have your own private owner's lounge. So you have a beautiful seating arrangement over here, the massive TV on the wall. Those curves I was talking about, we have them in here. So we have 2 more doors, and I'll just open up one of these. I don't even have to press the button because the sensors are turned on. And you got a private little oasis out here. And this is featured on both sides of the owner's suite. And then of course, now that we're facing this way, we'll see the bed. We have a massive closet space, which you can see is wide open off the lounge right here. And then it wouldn't be complete without an immaculate ensuite, which we have right through this door. We have the large black tub, your double vanity, and then a closet in the middle. Here is the toilet. And your shower. Guys, I can't believe we almost forgot this beautiful owner suite. If you stuck with me the entire time, I greatly appreciate it. And we have one more bonus space to see. So if you stuck around this long, you deserve to see it. Over here, we have a private office space for the owner. So if you need to get a little bit of work done while you're away, you can do so in the privacy of this room. You have plenty of additional storage, so you could also use this as a closet space, and the door can fully enclose this area. So of course, a big thank you to TWW Yachts for granting us access on board. This is an incredible 55-meter Heesen listing. Heesen is one of the finest Dutch shipbuilders in the world. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below, let me know which parts were your favorite. And we will catch you next time.